Let's discuss this election further and what it means for the people of Somalia. And I'm joined in studio by Abdi Wahab Sheikh Abdi Samad, who is an analyst of Somali affairs. Thank you very much for joining us here on Africa Live. Now, the election itself has been postponed previously 4 times, though it is quite a critical election for Somalia here. What's your take, though, on the preparations for this presidential election?
Initially, election should be taken October last year. They postponed into November last year. Again, December last year. Fortunately, now they are going to elect a new head of state tomorrow. Initially, the main obstacle was both the upper house and lower house was not ready. In fact, people are busy electing both the upper house and lower house. In addition to that, the financial constraint, because elections are very expensive business. So Somalia is a collapsed state, so that at least having a financial enough to prepare the election also another obstacle. Again, forming what you call the electoral commission electoral commission itself, they formed just last year, contrary to when the Hassan Sheikh Mohamud came to power 2012. It has to form the electoral commission. Unfortunately, he formed the last year, which is 2016, so just 8 months ago.
So how prepared are they though now to go into the election itself?
Right now, I think things are moving very well. And both international community and African Union, peacekeepers forces, and also Somali public, they are keenly watching this election tomorrow. So it seems a fair, transparent, and an election, hopefully. But it's hard to predict who is going to win.
And I was going to ask you that because
yes.
It's a rather crowded field here. Yes. You've got 24 candidates on the ballot. Who's likely to emerge the front runner?
It's difficult to predict because Somalis, they like new faces. 24, candidates are eyeing for the top seat, for the top job. In addition to that, let's say the front runners, maybe the current head of the state, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, maybe former Prime Minister Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, maybe former head of state Sheikh Sharif Sheikh Ahmed, and a young and energetic politician, Ibrahim Abdullah, and also Dr. Ibrahim Bursi, who's a former lecturer of University of Nairobi, is also one of the front runners. But hopefully, it's difficult to predict who's going to win.
Right. Security has been a major challenge here for the country, and we've seen in the not too distant past still quite a bit of al-Shabaab attacks in Mogadishu, in the outlying areas. Now, what are some of the challenges aside from security, of course, which is a major challenge? What are some of the challenges that you do expect will be meeting any incoming president?
The new head of state, which are going to elect tomorrow, has a lot, there's a lot of obstacles ahead of him. For instance, the Somalian region cannot afford active al-Shabaab inside Somalia. So it's now up to the new head of state to come up with a strategy they are going to defeat al-Shabaab. For instance, al-Shabaab is a part of the larger, al-Qaeda. Look, let's take an example from the Mali. The al-Shabaab in Maghreb, the al-Qaeda in Maghreb, the France, in fact, they invaded Mali in a span of 9 months. They eradicated completely the country and installed legitimate government. So we can borrow from them. So the new head of state, he has to come up with a new strategy, build the Somali security apparatus, build the capacity of Somali military, build what they call, and also himself, he has to be legitimate in the eyes of the Somali community. Because one of the propaganda of the Al-Shabaab is this, the puppet government, installed by international community, installed by the African Union, and so on and so forth. That should be eliminated at all. So the new head of state should be free from what you call the international community interference.
If you look back, though, at what you're talking about, Mali's situation and how they managed to eradicate the Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb in about 8 months. Boko Haram as well is quite decimated now in the Nigeria side. So how do we get rid of al-Shabaab permanently from Somalia?
In fact, there is a lack of political will from the international community to eradicate al-Shabaab. Honestly speaking, al-Shabaab, they're propagating, they are fighting for local cause. Also, the advancing of a Western agenda to keep Somalia in permanent, at war. That's one of the issues. The other issue is even the African peacekeeping force inside Somalia. They don't even care about the Somali. They care about what they call the lofty salaries and what they call an allowances they're getting from the international community. That should be eliminated. That the international community, together with the new head of state, come up a new strategy so that they can eradicate al-Shabaab once and for all. And in fact, hopefully, if they build the Somali security apparatus, let Somali security apparatus, train the single friendly state, be it the United States or Turkey or whatever it is, so that they can have a central command which can easily handle the security of the nation. If they do that, And I can assure you, these village boys of the 5,000 numbers, it can be easily eradicated.
Let's go back to the election very briefly as we wind up this segment now. And of course, the president will be elected by members of parliament. So when do you think exactly that Somalis will be able to be in a position, or Somalia, the country, will be in a position to have a participatory election across the country for a president?
Unfortunately, 2012, when Hassan Sheikh Mohammed came to power, it was, to prepare the Somalis for one man, one vote. Unfortunately, it couldn't happen because of the, a lot of issues. But right now, if they elected the new head of state tomorrow, hopefully, that the same head of state will prepare what they call the country for the next 4 years. Somalia should elect, should reach what they call election of one man, one vote. Somalia, you cannot compare to Iraq, you cannot compare to Afghanistan, you cannot compare to Syria. Look, for instance, Syria. Syria, they connected what they call election in the chaotic situation. Unlike Somalia is much better than Syria. Why the Somali community, they are ready to vote. Up to, as we speak right now, even the Somali community, they can conduct one man, one vote. But unfortunately, international community are against it for that. I don't know. I think they're going to manipulate the Somali, elections, which in fact a large number of Somalis are not happy with that. But what I'm saying basically is, if the current of the state are serious and are patriotic enough, to conduct or even to complete what they call the constitution,
right,
they can easily conduct a 4 years down the line, free, fair, and transparent election with one man, one vote.
Right, Abdi Wahab, Sheikh Abdi Saman, thank you very much for your insights on Somalis. And
pleasure.
We will be following critically that election for you, which take place on Wednesday, Somalia's critical presidential election.